Good morning. I am Jamie, Marketing Director at Caron Realty, and I am filling in for Caron today. We have a very special guest joining us, Jay Wu of Heyler Realty in Los Angeles. Welcome, Jay. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for having me.
So before I give the floor over to Jay, I just want to share an inspirational message, as Caron always does. We are in phase one of a four-tiered reopening of our economy in Hawaii, which is very exciting. It's really encouraging to be able to get back out into the community and into nature and bring tourists back to our beautiful island next month. And I want to share this quote I found by Ansel Adams. I believe the world is incomprehensibly beautiful, an endless prospect of magic and wonder. And I found this to be a really great reminder of how fortunate we are to live in such an incredible place and experience that magic on a regular basis. And Jay, you live in a beautiful place as well.
Yes.
So at the end of the video, as we always do, I'm going to be sharing some pictures by our agent, Marianne, of some places that she took around the island, a couple sunsets, Diamond Head, and other beautiful places. So Jay, you are the broker and co-owner of Heyler Realty in Los Angeles, and you've been working in real estate for 26 years now and have helped thousands of families reach their real estate goals. So you're going to share some expertise on a higher end West Los Angeles market, talk a little bit about how real estate and life in California have been affected by the pandemic. So thank you again for being here today, and take it away.
Thanks, Jamie. And sorry that Caron could not join us today, but totally understand. Life happens. But yeah, Los Angeles has been hitting some 1, 2, 3 punches, and there's this funny meme that's been going around about, the bad number, the 666 and 13 and unlucky numbers. Well, 2020 is like, well, let me tell you something. 2020 is the worst number now, and I'm taking the cake. And sure enough, between earthquakes throughout the last couple of weeks, 4-point, 3-point earthquakes throughout, but definitely rolling almost every other day, freaking people out. We've had wildfires galore, obviously in the Northwest, and it's been very challenging. We've had well over, I think, 113 million acres burning. And so it's pretty substantial. And just to give you a scale, Los Angeles County, a population is just over 10 million people in the county of Los Angeles. And that's only a small subset, obviously, of Southern California. But we are almost bigger than some states in terms of population. So we have millions of people and obviously a wide range of diverse terrain and housing market, et cetera. The area I cover is the west side of Los Angeles, which is Westwood, Santa Monica, Brentwood, Mar Vista, and pretty much coastal. So west of downtown Los Angeles onto the coast. And so it covers about 13 miles. And for some areas, you have to go 13 miles just to get to a grocery store. In LA, 13 miles, it might take you an hour. So it is a pretty densely populated area. Our average home prices out here for a single family home is around $1,755,000. Price per square foot on average is upwards around 1,000-ish plus square feet. And definitely over the last couple of months, it has been a seller's market for single family homes anyway. In condos, there was not a ton of activity until recently where people are just leaving the city. It just seems like it's like a mass exodus, and people are putting their condos up. It seems like multiple times a day right now on the west side. I think they're going towards more suburbia, rural areas. Like my friend is out in Westlake Village. People are moving out of state. People are moving to areas like Arizona and Idaho and Wyoming and the Colorado, et cetera. It just seems like there's been this drive for folks to want to leave the congestion. I'm sure a lot of New Yorkers felt that way when the height of the pandemic. Fortunately for us, our cases and numbers are down. I think we have just under 800,000 who had tested positive in the county of Los Angeles, just Los Angeles alone. And you figure, like I said, it's a 10 million. So we had about just under an 8% infection rate per population. So overall, if you think about it in that scale, it seems, wow, just 8%. But 800,000 people is still a lot of people. And then you have the compound of that effect that could happen. So people have really wanted to, be in an environment where they feel they can work from home, Zooming from home for school, as well as, for any recreational activity that has still been the mainstay. I think that the outdoor patio dining has been a wonderful reprieve from a lot of the home quarantining, because a lot of our restaurants have been able to adjust and create outdoor patio spaces and get rid of their parking spots, and instead put some platforms out and tables outside. Nail salons were allowed to open this week. What the process is, they still haven't heard yet, but they're allowed to open. So hopefully, I haven't had a haircut since February, so we'll see how that goes. But my hair is getting pretty long, and so it's like, and pretty damaged. So I think I need to deal with that pretty soon as well. But yeah, I have to say that for most of our properties, that it's been a multiple offer situation. Just recently on Monday, we closed a single family home. We had it listed for $1,999,000. We had about 6 days worth of intense showings. We had over 80 plus people through within those 6 days, all by appointment, all slotted, all like boom, 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 boom. And we received over 7 offers, and it sold for $2,550,000 was the closing price. So it goes to show you, I mean, that house went up $551,000 within a week of being on the market. So that's the intensity that we've been dealing with. Condo market, I know one of my agents had a great condo. It was a 1-bedroom condo listed at $599, and it went for $675. It had also had 14 offers and then multiple. So it gives you 2 different scales. One thing I'm seeing a huge saturation of though are the condos, luxury condos or higher end condos in that $1.2 million price point. They're lagging, they're sitting, not a ton of activity. There's, again, everything in real estate is supply and demand. So we have a huge supply and obviously a lesser demand for that supply. And so it's taking longer for those condos to get showings, for them to have any movement, any interaction. And now we're starting to see some price reductions. And what does that do? Like, what are people willing to do to move on? And that's kind of that taking a breath in moment we're experiencing right now with the condo market. Like, what's happening next? Because I know we have 2 that hit this week and another couple more condos that are coming on over this next 2 weeks as well. And in LA, as we hit into that mid-October time period, it gets a little tougher in terms of what's going to happen, because the activity generally year over year kind of slows down around that time as people gear into the holidays. But this is such an anomaly year. We don't know what's going to happen. Rates are below 3% for most mortgages. I think even for a super jumbo loan for $1.5 million and above, you can get 3 1/8 for a 30-year fixed. So that's still very, very good as well. So it's providing a lot more affordability than rates were at 4.5% and 5%, or even 4%. If you get 3 1/8, it gives you another $90,000 in affordability. So that has also been another incentivizing drive for folks. But they cut the property tax amount that we're allowed to write off in California to $10,000, and average property tax bill on 1.25%. $16,000 to $20,000 a year, and you only get to write off half of that now. So there's been some tax things that have created a little hiccup last year, whereas this year we're trying to map that out. But for houses, the demand has still been pretty intense. I think a good property is still going very quickly in multiple offers. And now it's a matter of weeding through, okay, the stuff that's not so great, what are people willing to do? I know developers have also stepped in back again, because March we had this vacuum, like those first 2 weeks. And I think everybody experienced that. The first 2 weeks, like, what's happening? Quarantine? What? Like lockdown? What is happening? What is this virus? But then I think by April, people kind of calmed down. May, people start strategizing, okay, we're in this for the long haul. And then June, July, August, it has just been like gangbuster craziness in terms of the amount of buyers that have been ramping up their searches and getting into homes, and the amount of listings. So the few that have come on are going like crazy, and we're still experiencing a huge drop in demand here on the west side. We just don't have enough affordable 3 or 4 bedroom homes, and affordable meaning something in that $1,600,000 to $1,700,000 range, even if it could be a fixer upper, because that is about the price range that most first time home buyers can afford to buy here. But they get bid up and they get to be $1,850,000, $1,900,000, $2,000,000, and that just becomes out of reach for a lot of first time home buyers. So that's so intense as well. And we just closed a luxury condo for $4.4 million a couple of weeks ago in a penthouse suite. That was lovely. Gorgeous rooftop deck, views for the Hollywood sign, and right in the heart of Beverly Hills, and just a wonderful lifestyle choice that condo was. But again, you know, it was only 1,800 square feet. It wasn't huge, it wasn't massive, but the quality of life and what it gave was pretty spectacular in terms of rooftop and everything else. So I don't know, in summary, I have to say it has been fascinatingly busy. It has definitely forced creativity and shifting gears and staying connected to other marketplaces to get a good gauge. The great thing about Caron and I is we are networked into some of the best boutique real estate ownership companies in North America, whether it's Toronto or Pennsylvania or Florida, et cetera. Practically any state within North America, we have friends there, and we are able to have a discussion around what are you seeing, what are you experiencing. And every conversation I've had, it seems across the board, they're experiencing the same thing: high demand, low supply, and you know the market absorption rate is under 30 days, which is pretty intense. It's a good indication of what's happening. And so with all that being said, I'm just grateful that, you know, we're 72 and sunny almost 360 days out of the year. I think we only have a couple of weeks out of the year where it's really miserable weather, but for the by and by on the west side, we have idyllic climate every day to be outdoors recreationally. And that's what I love about Caron is instantly we became friends over our love of sports and recreation, tennis, and being active and enjoy, you know, eating well and playing well and work hard, play hard kind of gals. And so I do love that about Caron. And I love the fact that there's been so much interaction with our marketplaces. And I was supposed to be there 3 weeks ago, so I'm really bummed I had to cancel my Honolulu trip and see her and visit you guys and see how that market was, because the UCLA University of Hawaii trip game was canceled. So, and the Pac-12 just announced they're going to try to get about 7 games in from November to December. So we might get a little more college football in here at some point. But that's the breaking news. It just happened yesterday. So I'm bummed. There are so many things I'm sure many of us had to give up this year, you know, so many milestones and so many important, especially like weddings and not being there for the births of grandkids or children, et cetera, as family members. And it is that pause year, it's that transition year, I think, and a year to learn how to shift. You know, it's like that book, Who Moved My Cheese? You know, what's shifting? How quickly can you shift? How quickly can you adapt and learn? How quickly can we, you know, figure out how to be there for other people? And I think that the greatest thing, and that I've always had, fortunately, is the fact that I'm the firstborn. I constantly think of how can I take care of other people? And that keeps my mind off of me. And I focus on who are the people I can reach out to? Who are the people I can stay connected with? And it's that sphere of influence. How many positive, good people I'm fortunate to have in my life, and how many of them can I stay engaged with, you know, on a regular basis, and keeping close in that community. So, and that's pretty much in a nutshell what's been happening. I don't know if that covers what you guys were looking to know about Los Angeles, but been a pretty intense few months, that's for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, thank you for that update. I'm just going to share some pictures from Marianne now. So each week she she finds some beautiful pictures that she's taken, or, you know, at the beginning of the pandemic and the lockdown, she shared some photos from Waikiki and, you know, popular areas around town that were just empty. But we're really excited to hopefully have those filled in the coming months and get people back out there. And this is a beautiful bird of paradise. And here is a shot of Waikiki. You can see the Royal Hawaiian in the background.
That's where we were supposed to stay, was the Royal
Oh,
Hawaiian.
really?
We had reservation for a Royal Hawaiian, and yes, I've never been there, so that's a great shot of where I would have enjoyed 6 days out there.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to come this year.
Well, I know who knows the town. You guys, look at that rainbow. Oh my God.
Yeah, Rainbow, Diamond Head.
Oh, beautiful. Well, our water here is definitely not that clean.
So something to look forward to when you do come. The sailboats go out kind of in the Waikiki, Diamond Head, Ala Moana area every Friday in the evenings. And so you can see the sunset with the sailboats, and it's really a beautiful sight to behold.
The last time we went on a sailboat a couple of years ago, we had over 70 plus dolphins, a giant school of dolphins that were surrounding our boat. They were like with us for several miles. My kids just had such a great time. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my God. Amazing. She's a great photographer.
Yeah. And this one's actually from last night.
Oh, beautiful. Now it really makes me sad I didn't get to have that trip.
I know.
Rub it in, rub it in. Oh.
Well, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on and talking about California, and we hope to see you in Hawaii soon.
Oh, thanks, Jamie. Me too. I can't wait to come out and visit. Definitely very soon.
Well, have a good weekend, everybody.